children of the night. What music they make. They're all gonna laugh at you.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
We're coming to get you, Barbara. Welcome to Final Guys, your favorite horror podcast. I've got my zombie horde with me, Jason and Timmy. What's up, fellas?
Howdy.
I'm doing great since we don't have Hunter here.
Yes.
The best news of all is Hunter Shea has had technical difficulties and will not be joining us tonight. Although I would.
Mic broke.
Yeah. Yeah, the Luddite is having issues. What a shock.
I would. What is the over-under on him showing up later in the chat and crapping on us?
0.
I
guarantee he's doing something else that he actually wants to do.
Anyway, well, I am a little upset because I wanted to hear what he thinks of this movie. So we'll have to get his take next week.
I think this will be a good one. I'm excited to talk about it.
Sometimes he'll give a hint with a text to us, like prematurely crapping on a movie in the day before, and you're like, oh, well, I guess we know where this is going. So
yeah,
you didn't get
usually
that.
I fell asleep. Is what it says.
No, I think it'll be fun because I feel like we're gonna fight about this a little bit. So those are always make for the best episodes.
Agreed. I'm pretty pumped to talk about it.
But whatever you say, I'll just take the opposite, and we'll go.
That should be a rule.
I will say this. I watched the trailer for American Werewolf in Paris the other day.
Oh yeah?
Oh my God. We
excited.
have to watch that movie.
Yeah, we do.
It's even more of a trailer. When you start talking about the girl jumping off the Eiffel Tower,
Yeah.
they show that I forgot all of that.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh man.
This looks like a so bad it's good movie. I mean,
No, it's good. It's just good.
All right, yeah, we got to do that.
we have to do it. Oh my God. All right. So tonight we're talking about Army of the Dead. It's a Zack Snyder movie, so naturally it's polarizing. And I can't wait to get into it. Before we do that, anything to address before we jump into everything?
I have drinking words.
How about drinking words?
Tim, you have any news?
I have no news. Nothing
All right.
that I can report.
Well, let's jump into it. Thank you, Sheridan, for your lovely emoji-filled drinking words here. Jack, your words are smart, place, and Dave. Finesse, yours are formula, war, and lion. Mine are leprechaun, plot, and vault. And the bonus words are Vegas, zombie, and Batista.
I was going to say, I'm not going to call him Dave. It's Batista. Actually, I call him Drax.
We were watching it last night, and my wife kept saying, like, God, he's so gigantic. I mean, you should have seen that dude when he was wrestling. He should have just been called steroids. I mean, he was so huge. Now he's like small Dave, and he's only like 280 pounds.
Still a beast, though.
Oh, he's huge. It's ridiculous.
I love the fact that he is sort of ascending in the dramatic world because he's so great in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I've seen him in some other stuff, and he just brings it in everything he does. Like he's not just a big lug kind of guy. He's got real talent. But literally, when you watch any of the Guardians or the Avengers movies, everything he says is delivered so well. He's got great comedic timing. But then there's a part in Guardians 2 where like Peter Quill hasn't come back to the ship, and he's just like, "Where's Quill? Where's Quill?" And he's like freaking out that his friend is dead. That you're like, "Oh my God, this big green goofy guy is like bringing me to tears practically." Like it's awesome. So, as if nothing else, Batista,
Dave
Batista. Okay, quick news. When I say there can only be one, what do you think of?
Highlander.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. So big Highlander fans here?
I think of Highlander 2, which is the greatest movie ever made.
I mean, I wouldn't say big, but I enjoy those films. Yeah.
I like Highlander 1 quite a bit, actually. It makes no sense, but I enjoy it.
It really doesn't make any
It makes
sense. Like
no sense.
I've seen it probably about 3 or 4 times, and every time I'm like, this is good, but I don't know what the hell's happening in this movie.
I have seen. Oh, we got the vanilla faces. 75% vanilla. Jabroni corny. However they say that.
Yeah, whatever.
Jabra Coroni. I saw the first 2, and then there was that series that was like
Oh yeah, wasn't it on
USA.
TNT or USA? Yeah,
something like
Yeah, that and Renegade were always on back to
Yeah,
back.
yeah. I didn't really watch it, but sometimes it would be on because you left the TV on or something, or you were binging Renegade. But the first 2, like I remember, like I said, they're not any kind of Hall of Fame, but definitely remembered fondly.
The first one's fun. The second one is really terrible. Like mind-bogglingly terrible. One of the worst big budget movies you'll ever see.
I feel like that one was just on HBO a lot or something. So it was like Warlock. Like I happened to
Warlock.
Just like, oh, Highlander 2 is on. So
yeah, it's the one where they say the Highlanders are from, or the Immortals are from outer space. They're like some alien species and all kinds of stupid shit that makes no sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, they're going to, I don't know whether it's a reboot or a continuation, but Highlander's coming back and Henry Cavill is going to be the Highlander.
I can see that.
That's interesting. More importantly, who's going to be the Kurgan?
Now,
Clancy Brown.
asked Clancy Brown about coming back, and he said, "Oh no, my character's dead. He got his head cut off." And then something about looking forward to the reboot. I hope it gets done. Can't wait to see what other people, have fun with the franchise. So
I pity the poor bastard trying to do that.
yeah.
Like Christopher Lambert's character was just like guy with sword. The Kurgan was amazing. And what was it? Ramirez? Was that the Sean Connery?
Sean
Connery, yeah.
You remember better than I do.
I told you I like the first one. And I always wondered, like, he's Ramirez. He's playing a Spaniard, but he's Scottish.
So that's like when Anthony Hopkins played Zorro. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, movies.
I did not watch Witcher or The Witcher. Was Cavill any good in that?
I watched like the first episode. I couldn't get into it, but he's all right. He's
really good in it. The series is, I mean, it wasn't great.
Tim, would you ever consider doing like Highlander cosplay with that hair of yours?
Hell yeah, I would.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
Nice. Okay. The other piece of news is not really the biggest piece of news, but I was scouring and I thought this was interesting. We've talked about there's going to be 2 Hellraiser revivals. Well, the one that's going to be a movie is going to be on Hulu, or they've got it. I don't know if it's going to get theatrical or not, but it sounds like it's going to go straight to Hulu. The good news is, though, Spyglass Media is the ones behind it. So I may have talked about this before, but David Bruckner is behind it. And now these are the people behind basically like VHS, Ready or Not, a couple of other like good things. Super Dark Times, the people involved there. So my initial reaction to rebooting Hellraiser is, but then when I hear that somebody like from Ready or Not, I'm like, oh, maybe we are in good hands. So
yeah, he directed The Ritual, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So.
The Ritual. There's also going to be an HBO Max series of Hellraiser that's I don't think related to this at all. That feels like this feels like CW doing like Superman shows while there's different Superman movies in the theater. Like I feel like that's a lot of Hellraiser, but what do I know?
It's amazing how unoriginal Hollywood is, that something gets greenlit and they're like, oh, we have the rights to the TV part. Let's greenlight it right now. It's like, what the fuck? You haven't done anything with this shit for 15 years. Like, what are you doing? So whatever. I'm looking forward to it because it actually looks like there's talent behind both of them. And I think Hellraiser has just such a cool premise that has been done well 1.5 times. Everything else has been crap. So We'll see.
Any other thoughts on that, Tim?
Whatever, just do it. I'll watch it.
All right, that's enough news then. Let's get to what we watched. So that's all the news is fit to print.
We have such sights to show you.
Okay. What the hell are you watching again? Leprechaun?
Leprechaun.
Hell
Tim,
yeah, I'm so
you're-
excited about this.
You're on the roller coaster with him?
I did, yeah. I went back and watched 3 and 4 this week as well.
Okay, so you guys talk about your Leprechaun, then Tim, you can give us your first movie. We'll go.
All right. So Leprechaun 3, which could be called Leprechaun in Las Vegas,
Yes.
is exactly what it sounds like. It's a very, very cheap movie with some of the worst musical score I've ever heard in a film, but it actually adds to its charm because this is so lowbrow. It leans into the humor of the first two in a big way, and I actually think this is my favorite one of the series so far.
Same.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, he's gambling. He's makes a naked woman come out of a television to kill a guy while having sex with him, but then she turns into an android or something. It's just all over the place. There's a medallion at the beginning that's keeping him turned to stone that when removed brings him back to life, and then we never see the medallion again. You think that would be used at the end to turn him back? No, it's just gone.
It's just gone.
It's an amazing movie. The main character here, Captain Crazy Eyes, picks up this beautiful woman stranded along the side of the road who happens to be a magician's assistant. And of course, there's an attraction between them, even though the dude looks like a serial killer. And there is a 0% chance she would be interested in this dude. But of course, he's the love interest. And I wondered through the whole movie, why would they cast this guy as the hero? He looks crazier than the leprechaun. Well, it turns out he does a really good leprechaun impersonation. Impersonation. Sure.
Whatever.
He does a really good one of those, and I swear to God that's why they cast him, because he slowly turns into one throughout the movie. I think that's the only way he got this role.
Did you know he's like a famous screenwriter now?
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, he's written some pretty big movies. He did Power Rangers.
Crazy Eyes? Wow.
Yeah.
Flight?
Kong, Skull Island. Did the story for it. I guess he probably contributed to the screenplay in some way. But yeah, Flight, Real Steel, Coach Carter, Hardball, Summer Catch. Like he's actually got some pretty some decent screenwriting credits.
Holy shit. That blows my mind.
Yeah, pretty wild.
I would have never guessed that.
And he's in Witchboard 2. Witchboard 2 has Mickey Dolenz' daughter.
And she quit after this movie.
Yeah, after Leprechaun 3, she pieced.
She's like, I'm never doing another movie again.
Yeah, the main actress, they had her just saying preposterous lines, being in stupid situations, and I think she was like, I could be an accountant somewhere. I'm out of here.
She was really good in it, though, I have to say. Like, I think the acting in this was pretty good. I mean, there's a couple goofy roles. I think they were written goofy, you know, like the mob boss's like henchmen and like there was just some goofy stuff. Like the guy who owned the pawn shop in the beginning, he actually did a really good job too. And I felt bad because like it was just so goofy, but it was fun. It had like a lot of charm, and I think you're right. Like this is definitely probably the best of all of them.
Now, it's been a long time since I saw this one, but I totally remember that I watched it and parts of it. If I recall correctly, I don't know if they use stock footage of Vegas, but aren't there scenes that look like it was filmed like in some like Midwestern town that has legalized gambling, but is like a backwater?
It's possible that it could have been.
I just feel like I remember like deserted sort of roads or something like that.
In a Leprechaun movie?
Yeah, I could be. It could be any one of the Leprechaun movies.
I didn't get there yet, but you could also be thinking of literally any Children of the Corn movie.
I don't know. It's all a blur. I do remember though the gambling stuff. This
one just eschewed all the we're an actual horror movie shit. They just threw all that away and just completely leaned into the goofy portion.
Yeah.
And if that was your biggest complaint about the first two, like it was for me, then you're going to like this. If you wish they did more horror stuff, you're probably going to hate this movie. But, low hanging fruit, I guess.
I can't wait till we talk about 4.
There's not much to talk about, dude.
What?
We'll get to it.
All right, Tim, what did you watch besides Leprechaun?
All right, so I've been doing the Saw movies, but I decided to take a break. And since I was watching Leprechaun, I needed to like watch something good. So I decided to watch 2 art house movies this week. The first one I watched was called The Eyes of My Mother.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
God, dude.
Have you guys watched this?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this was fucking awesome. Like
Dark.
Dark. Oh, dark. I went into it like blind. I was just like, I need to watch like some good art house movies. And I just Googled like what are some good horror art house movies, and this was on the list. And dude, like the opening scene with the mom and the girl, and then the guy who comes into the house, like I was blown away. I was just like in. I kind of don't even want to talk too much about the plot because me knowing nothing about it made it that much better. But yeah, it's just essentially about a girl who lives at this farm, and just how she grows up and like her relationship with her parents, and then just like the weirdest, most fucked up shit like happens, and it's perfect art house horror. And I don't know, I can't recommend this movie enough. Like this was such a blast to watch. I shouldn't say it's a blast to watch because it is super dark, and it's like if I say it's a blast to watch, that means like it's a fun movie. But this was a really well done movie with like a really awesome story. And just if you like super weird and like super dark and super indie film, you're gonna like this movie a lot.
Did we do a main feature on this, Jack?
I don't know if we did, but I know I watched this in like the stretch to try and get in a lot of movies for the end of the year. I believe, because I think this name just kept coming up, and then I just remember watching it and being like, "Oh man, that was heavy."
Yeah,
like it's a good movie, but it's like I need a shower, and
it's a one and done. I'm not revisiting.
I would watch this again. Like I really I loved everything about it, just from like a filmmaking perspective. Like some of the shots, just like some of the chosen shots that they did. There's like one scene where, again, I don't want to give away too much of the plot, but there's a person like escaping a house, and they're not like able to really, so they're just kind of like wandering outside of the house, and the whole shot is just from the window, and it's just the person running, and then you see the person going after them, just like walking casually. Like I don't know, there's just like really cool shots in there like that were just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a definite. You should watch it at least once.
Beautiful movie, and definitely check it out.
76 minutes long. I mean,
yeah, it's super short. It was only like a little over an hour.
It's good stuff.
And but for art house movie, like it's not boring whatsoever.
No, that's the thing too. Like it's super short, and everything. Like the whole time you're just like, what the fuck is happening? Like what am I watching? Like I need to watch more to understand it. And you do understand it. Like it's one of those where it's like I don't know what's happening, but I also do know what's happening. It's just like a super cool, intelligent movie, I think. So definitely watch it.
Awesome. Well, as you all probably remember, I watched the Lost Boys 3 with Corey Feldman, and for the past few weeks, I've watched some pretty schlocky movies, and somebody in the chat was like, Jesus, Jack, would you watch something good? So I decided, you know what? Corey Feldman gets a bad rap. He's been in some clunkers, but this man has been. Listen to this. He was in Stand By Me. He was in Lost Boys. And he was in the movie I watched this week, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which is my favorite of the Friday the 13th movies. So I think we need to take a moment and have a social for Corey Feldman. I see you guys won't even do it. Come on.
Corey Feldman, child actor, super on point. it's Corey Feldman adult roles that are like, what the fuck is going on here?
Hey, just roll with the shtick, man.
Okay.
Anyway. All right. So I haven't seen a lot of the Friday the 13th movies lately. I think about 3 or 4 years ago, I watched like the first 3. And I watched Jason Goes to Hell probably around the same time. But like they're not on like a regular rotation. I've seen Jason X was on HBO a lot. But I hadn't actually watched this one in quite a while. And I was just hankering to go back and watch some of my old favorites that we watch so many different movies on this that I sometimes neglect movies I love because I'm watching new stuff or stuff I haven't seen before. I was like, damn it, I need to go back and watch it. And the thing that just reminded me of why I love this one the most was I saw this in the theater. And the climax of this movie is one of the great movie theater experiences of my life. The theater went crazy. Like, you know, when like Avengers Endgame, when the hammer and all that stuff, or on your left, everybody's going, but you can watch YouTube videos of people going crazy. That's what like the theater was like when Corey Feldman does his thing. And then going back and watching it later, you realize Crispin Glover is in it and does the ultimate dance.
Oh, the dance.
That guy right there, though, his name is, what is it? Lawrence Monason. I don't know if you guys appreciate who that is, but he starred in an 80s party classic called The Last American Virgin.
Never seen it.
This is one of those like Porky's kinds of less. It's not as well known as like a Porky's, but it's one of those ones that if you're my age, like it was like one of the ones that you watched a million times. Me and Hunter met one of the stars from that at Chiller once, and we were all like, "Oh my god!" So that kid, like when I watch it, I'm like, "Oh my god, that's Gary from Last American Virgin." So this one had the most characters that I gave a rip about because I actually recognized a few people in it, and you've got all the classic things you need with, like, you know, the sister and the brother, and then the kids who are partying and all that stuff. And so it was very fun to go back and watch this one. And as I go through, each one of them has their own charm, but this one for me is the best one. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
It's probably my 4th favorite one, but to me, a lot of them are very close. 6 is my favorite. Jason Lives.
6 is great.
I love that movie. I love the first one. I love Jason X. I know that's very polarizing with some people, but I love Jason X. I love this one. So there are very few clunkers in Friday the 13th, to be honest. So yeah, this is a good one.
Like I said, for me, that moment in the theater is what, like, just I never had a better time watching a Friday the 13th movie than that moment. Like, you know, listen, I've toasted every kill in a Jason movie with my friends over and over again. So, and I don't really care about rankings for this stuff, but that one. So
Crispin Glover's so weird in it. Like, not even the dance scene, but there's this scene where he just yells like, "Where's the goddamn corkscrew?" Like,
yes,
out of it, just like everything he yells and says is so strange.
Well, yeah, he goes from like the wallflower to like, then he gets laid and is suddenly like this new man. It's in 5 seconds. Bizarre.
Yeah, you know, and those gotta love those 20-year-olds who go to the cabin to get laid and they're like drinking wine. You know, it's a very weird movie.
Strange.
I like it though. Not weird movie, I should say. Weird performance.
Yeah. All right. So are we back to Leprechaun?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I love movies that are terrible, obviously. I'm a big fan of movies that are so bad I get entertainment out of them. But one thing I don't enjoy is when a movie is purposely trying to be bad, like trying to be just as ridiculous and stupid as, like, I kind of got that from this. I don't know how much was just incompetence and how much was trying to make you laugh with how dumb and bad this movie is. But it kind of felt like the second to me. So the leprechaun's in space. He has to marry some woman from another race who's, you know, half naked through the movie so that he can be a king because he wants respect. He doesn't give a shit about his gold anymore, I guess. and it kind of rips off aliens, and there's horrible effects.
Isn't there a giant leprechaun in this?
Yep. Which, by the way, there's like 2 shots that look really good where they built a miniature set and had him kind of rampaging through, and it looked good. And every other green screen shot is just terrible.
I love this was in that kind of golden era where they were putting movies in space, and all they would do is get like, I don't know, corrugated metal walls with like emergency tape on them and stuff, and just make corridors out of, sheets of metal, and and just make sound effects while they lowered a piece of metal down and stuff.
He has a lightsaber.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it was so crazy. I don't know. This was a pretty big miss for me, not gonna lie. But who knows? Maybe if I had a couple beers and I was watching it with friends, I might feel totally differently.
This movie is trash, but it is so like outrageous that it's mind-boggling how like outrageous it is. Like the last act of the movie with that monster thing, like that's the thing. Like the practical effects were actually not terrible either. Like that monster thing, like it wasn't awful.
I will give them credit. They went for it a lot of times, and they clearly didn't have the money to go for it.
They like went there, and I appreciate that. So I don't know, man. Like it's not a good movie, but I was, this is probably going to be a theme for me tonight. It wasn't a great movie, but I was entertained by it for sure.
I was entertained by parts. I'm not going to lie, but when I watch a movie this stupid, I really need to be in the right frame of mind, and trying to sneak it in for Final Guys is not the right frame of mind. So
understood. This
might be more fun than I'm giving it credit for, but
you just have to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that sigh I just gave, that sums it up.
I was just saying, you have to just go in there knowing that you're in for a movie called Leprechaun in Space. Like, what else are you expecting?
But this one, like, you've got Jason X, Hellraiser, and this. When people are talking about like the franchise, like jumping the shark, whatever, like Leprechaun in Space is kind of like, oh, when are they going to go in space? And like this was like leading the charge for like horror franchises going into space, and it may be the most legit one out of all of them.
I don't know. I like
Jason X.
Yeah, I
legit.
I was just waiting to see how pissed off you get from that statement.
Yeah. Also, we need a Nightmare on Elm Street in space, and I would totally write the screenplay for that for free of charge. If anybody out there who has the rights to do that is listening, I'll write that for free.
I do feel like this is the movie that gives the, when are they going to space and how stupid is it going to be? I feel like that comes from this because it is so stupid.
Yeah, it's true.
You can go to space and have a good movie. This is just like they weren't even attempting anything story-wise, or it was just ridiculous.
Outrageous, yeah.
What if they had just taken Event Horizon and put the Leprechaun in it? Would that have been...
That would have been interesting.
I love Event Horizon.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Every time I watch it, I like it a little less, but
oof. I feel like I like it more every time I watch it.
Me too.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I need to have a couple beers and have a buddy over and rewatch this. I don't know. It just
I don't know.
I don't like when so bad it's good movies are on purpose. It's not my thing.
Yeah. That makes sense.
How many times do you really need to watch Leprechaun in Space?
Yeah, I'm never watching this again.
Move on.
At least 3 times. All right. So continuing with some art house-ish movies. I was on Shudder and I found a movie called Warning, Do Not Play. Don't know if you guys have ever watched this movie or heard of it. It's Korean, I believe.
Oh, is this on Netflix?
It is on.
I feel like
Shudder.
I have this on my watch list somewhere, but I didn't get to it yet.
Its own Shutter. And it's from South Korea. It's basically about a film student who is trying to make a horror film, and she's kind of struggling with it. She has dreams about what she wants to write, and so she'll have dreams, and then she'll go and write the screenplay, and then come back, and then she discovers or learns of a movie that was filmed and shot supposedly by a ghost. and
Yes,
it was
yes.
like a big movie that it's like a lost film, and then it becomes basically like Cigarette Burns-esque, where it's like a lost film and she has to try to find it, and she's like hunting it down. She's talking to the filmmakers and the actors that were in it, and it's kind of like a twisty turny kind of like mind fuck movie. But I really enjoyed this movie. The production is great. It looks great. Like the ghosts are scary in it, and a lot of creepy scenes, and the story is really good too. Like I thoroughly enjoyed this film, and again for a Shudder subscription, this is just like a perfect movie. That's really all I have to say about it. Warning: do not play. Good stuff.
The ghost thing is what tripped it. I do have this on my watch list. I just haven't got to it yet, so it's worth throwing on.
It's worth watching, and I know you're a big found footage fan too, and like so this at some point in the movie it dips into found footage territory, and there's like a good like 10-15 minutes of just pure found footage, and it's good found footage. It's not like shitty found footage either. So
Right.
I would be interested to see what you think of it, because it's got a little bit of everything. It's a movie for films fans, especially like if you like those lost film type of movies.
Yeah, I love
like
that subgenre.
Cigarette Burns, and
What's the one? It's a Spanish film. Now I can't think of it. Where a student, I think a professor dies watching a movie, and a student becomes obsessed with finding out what the movie was because the movie disappeared. Oh, damn it! Someone in the chat help me. It's so good. Fuck. Anyway, I do love that subgenre. We don't get many of them.
No, we don't, and we totally should have more. But I kind of consider like The Ring also as kind of like that subgenre. But and you could tell like this is kind of, it falls in like the Grudge Ring kind of that kind of subcategory. But yeah, I mean it was surprisingly very fun, and I started watching it like while I was working, and sometimes when I'm working I can't pay 100% attention to it, so I was really into it. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to watch this later when I'm not working, because I want to give it my 100% attention, and I'm glad I did, because I was kind of blown away by it. So
All right, I might try to watch it this week.
Cool. You should check out some Korean zombie movies while you're at it, pal.
yeah, I've watched quite a few.
Did you watch Kingdom yet?
No, I haven't watched Kingdom
TV
yet.
series.
I will though. It's on the list.
All right. Last week I watched Nosferatu and the Nosferatu remake. I had to search around and I found somebody who had a copy of this because it's hard to find on streaming. Have you guys ever seen the 2000 Shadow of the Vampire with Willem Dafoe
and John Malkovich? Yeah, I've watched it like once back in the
Never
day.
seen it.
It's a really good movie.
It is. And I had seen it once, and I had not watched Nosferatu recently when I saw it. So I appreciated it. But man, if you have just watched Nosferatu, so it's fresh in your head, and then you watch it, it's even better. Because now you're like, oh damn, that's like right out of the movie. Or that, like, Eddie Izzard is like the Jonathan Harker guy. He's awesome in it. Carrie Ellis is in it. So
Really?
Hunter,
I don't remember.
Hunter. Yep, he's like the cameraman, and so Hunter won't watch this movie. Although I bet you he loves this movie.
He probably does, yeah. Because Malkovich is in it.
Anyone who doesn't love Carrie always concerns me.
Yeah. How do you hate Carrie Ellis?
Man's a treasure.
Willem Dafoe and Malkovich are so good. Malkovich is the like madly obsessed filmmaker. Everything's got to be obsessive. And basically, the premise of this is that when he filmed Nosferatu, he got a real vampire. Max Schreck is an actual vampire, and he's just filming the vampire, and he's made a deal with him to make the movie. And so basically, Max Schreck is causing trouble behind the scenes as a vampire, and Defoe is so great. If you were just talking about being a student of film or whatever, the kind of peek into the world of silent filmmaking that they give you, it's great. It's like better than watching like a documentary about the making of it, because you're kind of getting that along with this very entertaining movie that also is a pretty good little vampire movie. And so I hadn't really thought about this movie in a long time. And then once I was doing that, I said, I got to track down that movie. And luckily a friend of mine had it, because you can't like find it on
Really?
Amazon or anything like that. At least I could.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's one of those that always slipped through the cracks. I used to see it all the time, and I'd always think I got to watch that, and then just never did.
I mean, Willem Dafoe was made for this role.
Dude, William Dafoe crushes it in everything. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah,
he really is.
I couldn't have picked a better time to watch it. I'm very happy with my choice there.
I'll have to do that. I'll have to do like a double feature, but I'm gonna have to track it down if it's not streaming anywhere. Maybe I can go on eBay and pick up a DVD or something. I used to have that movie on DVD. It was so available back in the day, like pre-owned. I remember like going in there and like they had like 6 or 7 copies of Shadow of the Vampire at all times. So
I feel like I went on Just Watch and it was like it's not available, and I looked on Amazon, it wasn't there. So I don't know. Maybe somebody who looks harder than me.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it. It's called Tesis. If you guys haven't seen that, it's TESIS. It's a Spanish film. Spanish like lost film kind of movie. So freaking good. Oh man.
I'll have to check that out.
22 years old, something like that now, but it's fantastic.
How do you spell it?
TESIS. It's like thesis without the H. It is outstanding. Okay, so yeah, it's that good. I read this turkey. Oh, you can't read. Wait.
Switch House.
I finally read The Switch House by Timothy Meyer.
What the hell's that?
It's this turkey. It's kind of hard to get through. Dude, so good. And I see now why you're always like, oh, the dream stuff in movies. I love this shit. I'm reading this book. I'm like, oh yeah, Tim wrote this. Yeah, all the dream sequences. Dude, this was really good. Is this your best-selling book?
Yeah, it's probably currently my best-selling book. Yeah, I'd have to say.
I had a feeling. Just everything kind of works with it, and I thought this might be a pretty good one for you. Awesome, dude. I'm not going to sit here and make you uncomfortable. I can already see you squirming in your seat. Damn good book, and it was the length was right on my alley too.
Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man.
Crushed it. What was it, like 45,000 words? 40,000 words?
It was like 40, and then I added. There's like 3 short stories at the end of there that I put in there as well. So,
and did Chad Lutsky just ghostwrite that one with you?
No, Chad Lutsky had nothing to do with it. I think he blurbed it.
So that's why this was good. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Good job, dude. I really dug it. I wish I'd read it earlier. I don't know why it took me so goddamn long, because I'm stupid.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Nice. Link is in the show notes, you fucks. Go buy it.
Tim, are you up?
I'm done. That's all I had. I only have 2 tonight.
Last week, I announced Attack the Block was getting a sequel. And I said off the cuff, man, I got to go back and watch Attack the Block. So I put my money where my mouth was, and I watched Attack the Block again. And I am happy to report that not only does this movie hold up, but like You're Next, I think this may be one of my favorite horror movies. Not
really.
Not like top 10.
Whoa.
But like, top 30 kind of. Like it's
damn, I love dude, that's saying a lot.
I love it. I don't know. I don't appreciate this movie like it ought to be. It's so good. The characters are great. This alien invasion on this London town, these kids mug this woman, and then later on, because they're all getting attacked, they have to work together. There's this thug drug dealer that they have to deal with. So there's real characters and there's stakes in it. The monsters are awesome in it. It's just this tight little story with great characters. It's funny when it needs to be. It's scary when it needs to be. It's exciting. And like hardly everybody you talk to who's seen it loves it, but it hardly ever comes up. And I'm here to tell you, like, Attack the Block is a hidden gem out there. People got to watch this movie.
Oh, it's great. I actually listened to a podcast recently. I listened to a lot of screenwriting podcasts, and they had the guy who wrote and directed this on there, and just listening to him talk about like how this was kind of just like a passion project for him, and like how it kind of he became really good friends with Edgar Wright, and like Edgar Wright kind of, I guess, helped him like get this thing made. But yeah, just like listening to him talk about the movie and how it came about was cool. Like he got mugged, which is like how he came up with the idea for that story. He just got mugged in like his regular neighborhood, and that kind of just like spawned the whole idea for it. So I'm fascinated by that kind of stuff.
I gotta watch this again. I said this, I think, last week. When I watched it, I thought it was fine, and I didn't get the hype. But I also went in super hyped because everybody was telling me how great it was. So I want to revisit it now with just I barely even remember it at this point. I remember the
that's the thing. It made such an impression on me. It was just like, damn, I knew I liked this movie, but I love this movie. Like, it's so good. Like, it's I didn't realize how much I liked it. Like, like I was like, son of a bitch, I should be watching this movie more than I do.
Yeah, I had the same experience. I watched it when it first came out, and I was like, yeah, that's all right. I mean, not great, not awful. But then I watched it recently, and yeah, you're right. Like, it's just the second time, I think it's just so much better. I think you see like the little subtle things that are in there that really make that movie special. So,
and now John Boyega is like a known entity now.
Yeah,
and everything. So that helps a little bit.
But he's coming back for the sequel, right?
Yeah.
Be cool.
Moses.
All right, I gotta check it out again.
It's fun.
You gonna say something else? Good.
I was just gonna say, like, the aliens don't look great, and I feel like that's maybe why, like, a lot of, I'm not to say that they don't look great, but they just have like this unique look to them.
I thought they were so cool.
I think they're cool too, but like I could see why some people would be like, the aliens kind of look. I like them personally. For
me, that was one of the things that jumped out at me immediately. I was like, oh my god, this like jet black thing, and then suddenly these glowing teeth, like, and you couldn't tell what the hell you were looking at half the time.
Yeah, I like it too, but I think that's one of the complaints is like people are like they can't take it too seriously because the aliens are kind of, I don't know, they don't look real, I guess. But like, it's an alien movie, so shut up.
It's also great because it's a horror movie that uses humor so well. Like it knows the time and the place to put humor in, but it's not a flat out comedy.
It's not. Yeah,
it's a witty horror movie.
All right, God damn it, I'll watch it again.
Love it.
Giddy.
I think it's on Prime, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's on Prime, man.
Yeah, I think I got the link. I think it was free on Prime. I got one more thing. Oh, if I hold it like this, you can see it.
That guy.
This idiot. I figured since he's not here, I'll review it because I also read this. The Devil's Fingers by Hunter Shea. This was also a really good book. I really wanted to trash him about it, but this is another one that I just crushed. I think it might have been a novella actually because I read it really quickly. But I don't know how old they are, early 20s. People go hiking to scatter one of their friends' parents' ashes, and they run into this field of fungus growing that these plants are called devil's fingers, and they shouldn't be there, and there shouldn't be that many, and they just kind of walk the other way and ignore it, and then they start to get infected by them, and these pods start growing all over them, and shit goes completely sideways. And I dug the hell out of it. It's dead simple, but it kind of highlights to me what I feel like he does best as a writer, where he doesn't go super into characters' backstories and all that, but they still feel very individual and unique very, very quickly just by the way he has them speak and interact. So another one. Great. So between this and Switch House, I was very pleased with my reading this week. I read a lot of words, which for me doesn't happen too often. So, all right, I'll stop being nice to you guys.
All right, let's get to the main feature.
I was not ready.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Okay. I'm eating a piece of candy.
Good time.
Let's get into this. Army of the Dead. Zack Snyder. Zombie movie. He started in the business with Dawn of the Dead, written by James Gunn. Remake of one of my favorite movies of all time. Pretty universally liked or loved, but depending on who you talk to.
Damn good zombie movie.
Comes back to the genre. But this is not related to the Dawn of the Dead movie. This is something different. Jason, you had a pretty good little summation in the teaser for tonight. So why don't you tell us what this movie's about?
A bunch of idiots go into Las Vegas, which has been closed off because zombies have taken over the city, and they're going in to rob a bank vault to try to get out before the president of the United States nukes the city into orbit. That's pretty much it.
I'd say so. Okay. What did you think of this movie? I can't wait to hear.
I said last week, I have this weird thing with Zack Snyder movies where I watch them the first time and I'm like, yeah, I liked it. It was okay. And then I watch it again and I really like it. And this ended last night and I went, yeah, I liked it. It was okay. It was pretty decent. Pretty good. Not great. A lot of shit that I was like, why the fuck? Why did you do that? But I liked it. So I want to get that out of the way because I feel like I'm going to spend half of my time bitching about the weird choices in this movie. But there was some cool, different, unique zombie stuff in this, which was we really don't get in zombie movies. They're all the same goddamn thing. Except I'm going to say, Zach, I have a feeling you read the Hunger series because I've done about 10 of the things in this in my last 2 books. So I'm expecting royalties here anytime now. The alphas, as he calls them in this, where did that come from? Yeah, but I don't know. I liked it, and then I'm going to bitch about it going forward, but I still liked it. I got a thing with Zack Snyder, man. I just like his stuff, even when it doesn't completely land with me.
Timmy.
Oh, me. Yeah, I kind of have the same opinion. Like, I do like Zack Snyder stuff. I mean, the only movie I didn't really 100% like of his is Sucker Punch. Like that one didn't, no pun intended,
I've only watched that one once.
Land for me. But everything else is, I mean, I don't know like Man of Steel either, so I can't really say that. But I don't know, like The Watchmen, I think is like one of my favorite comic book movies ever made. I love the original, well, the remake of the Dawn of the Dead. But anyway, like, yeah, Zack Snyder's, he's just like a good filmmaker. Like he has like a good vision, and this movie looked beautiful. Army of the Dead, and like, how often do you get a $90 million budget horror movie? Like it never happens, right? So like, I feel like we should celebrate that as a win, regardless of plot holes or characters that kind of just didn't make sense. I mean, the movie does have issues. But again, it's a studio film. Like I feel like Zack Snyder should just take like some money that he's made and go make his own independent movie without any studio interference.
Netflix is basically letting him go.
You think so, though?
Yeah, they've hitched their wagon. There's going to be a prequel live action movie and a cartoon, an animated thing. I couldn't wait to tell Jason that. And
why?
Don't be surprised. They were looking for a tentpole thing. So I think they basically came to him and said, "Hey, everything could be a Snyder cut with us."
I mean, I don't know, man. I didn't get that vibe watching it.
I don't think you're watching rightly then, because this has all of the Snyder stuff in it.
It does have a lot of Snydery stuff in it, but like I also saw that like there's like 4 credited writers on it, and usually when that happens, it's like, okay, the studio got script from Snyder probably, and then hired 3 other writers after him to rewrite the script, and then it just kind of became like a kind of a mess. So, which is why I think there's a lot of like loose plot holes. Like they never really explained the alphas. Like they didn't explain why were they kidnapping those people in the first place. Like that was never really explained. There was like a bunch of like weird stuff, like plots that kind of went nowhere. So I can't really blame him for
That is
that.
kind of a Zack Snyder thing sometimes.
I don't know. I is it though? Because like The Watchmen is like really tight, and I love that movie. And
Well, The
same,
Watchmen is too slavish to the source material. It's like frame by frame.
I don't
Zack-
think so.
I love that movie.
Dude, he looked at all the frames and recreated the panels. He misses some of the spirit of it.
He changes like the whole third act though. The whole third act is kind of different.
He changes the squid and he changes some of the characterizations of it. But if you listen to other filmmakers who watch that, they go, yeah, if you're going to adapt Watchmen, like you probably should have actually changed more of it.
Well, those filmmakers are watching it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That movie's perfect.
Malin Ackerman and what's his name? Ozymandias. That movie is not perfect.
Oh, dude, the movie's so good. You have no idea what you're talking about. I can't really
like Watchmen. I own the director's cut, but I can also criticize it.
No, you can't.
Listen,
It's
I know
perfect.
Watchmen better than you.
I don't think so. I doubt it.
I'll take you on any day.
I will fight you right now.
Can I tell you what I thought of this movie? You little friggin' hog, microphone hog. Let's get into this.
Sure.
I was very underwhelmed by this movie. For $90 million in 2.5 hours, there's some really good parts of this movie, and it's fine. Like I kind of feel like I like it the same amount of Jason as Jason did, but I'm gonna lean towards the negative because I was let down. I was hoping that this was going to be what the trailer was selling me, and what the first 15 minutes was selling me was a fun, kinetic, like action movie with bringing us some stuff we haven't seen before. And instead, I got kind of like a mediocre zombie movie and a mediocre heist movie, and with a sprinkling of trying to make it 300. And he took everything, in the kitchen sink, threw it against the wall to see what stuck. And then some of the stuff they followed through on, and a lot of it they didn't. That just kept me going. Well, they introduced that and then they never did anything. But we can go through the list of that. So I
made a list of it.
Yeah, me too. So I have no problem. Again, I don't want to. I actually don't want to fight about this movie. Like, I'm not going to die on a hill. If you like this movie, God bless you. Like, I'm happy for you. But for me, I just like a friend of mine, my buddy Morgan, who Jason, you're going to meet him at Scares. When we were texting back and forth, he saw it first, and he's like, Zack Snyder is like a junior high kid making a movie. Like, it's all looks and no substance. And I said, yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it. I feel like he makes a movie out of the first draft of the script. He doesn't, that script could have used a couple of more passes before they made the movie.
I have a lot to say about this, actually. As I always do with Zack Snyder stuff, my mind has been changing literally today. I watched it yesterday. And I was like, the script is kind of stupid. And there's like all these things they brought up that they never got around to. And I'm slowly changing my mind. But something I want to mention before I forget. What the hell was with the depth of field in this movie? Like, why was so little of each shot actually in frame or in focus? Like, it was distracting.
It was a weird filmmaking choice. Like, yeah, everything was like whatever lens he was using, it was super weird. It was a weird choice.
Yeah, at first I thought
thing.
Maybe it was so that the effects of Vegas being destroyed behind them would be blurrier and would look better. But then they were doing it all the time, and I was like, what is this? I don't know. I liked it in some shots where it needed to be claustrophobic. It kind of had a good vibe. But when they were out in the street, I want to see that mayhem. I want to see the craziness. And it just, I could see like, a little bit of a person's face was in focus and nothing else. It was, I don't know. It was a strange choice. I'm not sure why he went with that. He did the same thing at the end of the Justice League Snyder cut. The last part where it's like a completely different timeline was shot the same way, and it was very distracting there too.
The Joker, they used that for the Joker scene.
Exactly.
They had a very small set that they were using.
So I did not like the way that looked, but I understood why they did that. This, I'm not sure. Maybe he just likes the style now. I don't know.
I mean, Marcella makes a good point in the chat. Tisha Notaro's character, like she had to be filmed completely on green screen because they had to replace Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
So like that I could understand, like
for sure. I thought it blended well, actually.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job too. Like I was trying to notice it because how could you not hear that story? But like I even knowing that they were shot separately, I thought they did a great job blending it in. So
It's noticeable in a few places, but it never really distracted me.
I think had I not known that they had done that, I don't think I would have noticed anything.
You would have never noticed, yeah.
But I was watching it like a hawk the whole movie, trying to find.
There's more scenes of her alone, like talking to somebody, and then flipping it like that. It's a little bit noticeable, but yeah, you're right. Like if you're really looking for it, it's not.
But that's the thing too. Like I feel like they had like a lot of issues behind the scenes that maybe we don't even know about. Like I just felt like there was just stuff going on that they had to deal with. That
I think this is more like when you see what the Snyder cut that came out, and you start to see, oh, they were planting seeds in Batman v Superman that he was going to pay off later on.
Right.
Yeah.
This movie feels like he planted a million seeds in hopes that if 5 out of the 10 things in there can be used in sequels and stuff like that. It's like
that could be it too. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that they were. I was just gonna say I didn't know that they were already spawning a whole franchise based off this one movie. So that kind of makes more sense if there's so many open-ended things that they didn't resolve.
There's a prequel involving the safecracker guy called Lost Vegas or something like that. There's an animated thing and a thing about the safecracker guy.
So, God, why do they do this to me? I hate that shit. I'm gonna go down my montage thing. It's fine. I do want to get to the seeds you were talking about, but I want to finish my weird little bitching segments here.
Please do.
The opening montage was kind of what I wish the whole movie had been.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Being destroyed, that would have been amazing. Instead, it's very truncated and it's kind of odd musical choices, like he did with Watchmen. Where the first time I'm watching, I'm like, man, this music is very strange for a film. And then I watched it the second time and I liked it more. So I'm wondering if the montage here will
see. I thought the movie was perfect, but I've seen Richard Cheese in concert and I love Elvis. So for me, I was like, oh, it's cool. He's going back to Richard Cheese, and Viva Las Vegas is perfect. It's long though. Like they play the whole song. But if you go back and look at the trailer, almost all the stuff in the trailer is either from that or from when they talk about the bank heist and they show like how it's supposed to go. Like most of the stuff is either from that or from the opening montage, and there's very little from the rest of the movie. So you going in expecting this like crazy, Vegas explosion thing,
right?
You don't really get it.
Yeah, it's true.
I'll say
somebody else has a point. Go ahead before I keep bitching.
The Zach's listen, the Watchmen opening credits is one of the best things.
Amazing.
That's great. And this, like I said, that's my favorite part of the movie too. And I kept waiting for it to get back to that because there were so many funny and exciting and well shot things in that. And then suddenly, the movie kind of goes to sleep for an hour.
Debatable. I like the opening scene with the. I thought some of the dialogue was clunky with like the soldiers talking, but
oh yeah,
that's just my personal preference. But I like that scene. I like how they kind of set it up. They didn't really expand on it, but again, like now knowing that it's supposed to be like this big franchise thing, like it kind of makes sense. I would kind of wish they wouldn't have gone that route and would have just made a complete story in one movie and then built off of that. But
well, there's also one of my problems is I found stuff out by listening to podcasts or talking to people, and they're like, "Oh no," and we can get into it. Spoilers. There's some things that I'm like, "Did I see that?" Oh yeah, Zack Snyder said this. So it's like you don't like the main zombie's name is Zeus, like, and you only know that because of the credits. But like everybody's referring to him as Zeus.
I'm trying to see from my notes what I can get into here without doing spoilers too much. Well, this one's super obvious. If you didn't get it, you're a dumbass. They put Burke in this movie from Aliens, which is why that's my name today. The guy who goes along with them is just Paul Reiser from Aliens. And it's obvious instantly. And they even call it out a third of the way into the movie. They're like, we should just kill this guy. He's gonna
And-
betray us.
And the guy who
Oh,
plays
yeah,
him
yeah.
is like you knew as soon as he showed up in the.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
had the look on his face. I'm like, yeah, this is Burke. Like, come on, what are we doing here, guys? So that kind of bothered me the whole time. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, come on.
I mean, the whole movie had like an Aliens vibe to it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a scene at the end with the helicopter that is straight out of the end of Aliens. Yeah, there definitely had an Aliens vibe, which I'm never going to complain about because it's one of my favorite movies, Aliens. I think that's about all I can say without spoiling anything, except the dehydrated zombies at the beginning. They mentioned that. That was the coolest freaking thing I've ever heard in a zombie movie. And I'm like, I cannot wait for this. This is going to be brilliant. Don't see it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was weird now that you mention it. Like, they were just kind of just there.
Like, you should see what happens when it rains and they come back. Like,
Yeah.
what? Oh my God. Don't see it.
I was waiting for somebody to get like a fire hose or something and just like.
Yeah. Freak rainstorm in Vegas comes through. Like, damn it. So, yeah.
Having said when we hit spoilers, I'm gonna, read my laundry list, hear yours. We could talk about the pros and the cons of it. But like I said, it's not that I wouldn't suggest watching it. It's on Netflix, and there are enough people out there who love this movie, and there's enough good stuff in it. Like there's some great action sequences in this. Batista is awesome in it. I think a lot of the other characters are pretty generic, whereas a lot of other zombie, like the original Dawn of the Dead, the characters are so great in that movie, and even the original Night of the Living Dead, and even the Zack Snyder remake has interesting characters in it. These were kind of like your action movie tropes.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh,
And
totally.
before we get into spoilers, I want to say too, you should watch this. Like, I actually did enjoy this movie. I know I just bitched about a couple things, and I'm going to bitch about a couple more. But then we get into stuff that is really turning me around on this movie, and is going to make me watch it again, even though it's 2.5 hours long. Because there are some things that were happening that really got my mind going as I thought about it today and looked some stuff up. So definitely worth checking out.
But also, like, our opinion is one thing, but there's a million people out there on Twitter who are raving how much they love this movie, and Tim likes it a whole lot. So yeah, check it out and decide for yourself. I'd love to know what other people thought of this movie, like in our chat. I know Josh Barcella liked it, but like I said, I kind of walked away like, I thought this was going to be like a home run, and we got like a double.
That's where I'm at. I'm starting to lean towards triple, which I'll talk about.
I just had a blast. I just had a blast with it. I mean, like I said, I think we bitch a lot about, how horror doesn't get any respect. And like traditionally Hollywood only they don't pump money into horror movies. That like usually it's low budget because there's like a big return on investment, right? This is like one of the first huge blockbuster horror movies besides like, King Kong versus Godzilla, if you want to classify that as horror.
Fair point. It's not watered down either. Like, there's some gory
it's
shit.
violent, dude. Like they're like the one. We're doing spoilers and stuff, right?
Yeah, sure.
When they're in the vault and the vault closes and like it smashes that thing and it's just like the jelly of the innards and stuff, dude. I fucking love that stuff. I love the violence and I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, me too. I thought he did a good job showing stuff when he should, and then like sometimes just cutting away because it's like you don't need to see. You don't want to get too gratuitous. One thing I did want to mention before we got spoilers, and I forgot, Zack Snyder does badass female characters better than anybody except maybe James Cameron.
I don't know about that.
I don't know what her ethnicity was. The woman who was in the crowd of zombies when they were, I don't know what the hell they were, hibernating or whatever in the dark, and she starts getting attacked, and she just fights her way through.
Oh, she was like the one from Aliens too.
Yeah. She was super badass. What do you mean, dude? Wonder Woman in Batman vs Superman, when she shows up to fight at the end, it's so fucking badass.
I still think Neil Marshall does like female badass characters the best.
Better than James Cameron?
Yeah.
No, get the fuck out of here with
that.
Dude,
Neil Marshall's movies are amazing. The Descent.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love me some Neil Marshall, but
Doomsday.
I'll throw down my Ripley card over anything. And my
all right. If that's what you're gonna do, then all right, maybe. But I just love Neil Marshall. So,
but I just wanted to say, like, that fight scene with that woman trying to fight out of there and then she died. I'm watching this amazing scene where she's kicking all the zombie ass and I'm loving it. And then she escapes and everyone is standing right there and they watch her continue to fight and nobody helps her.
nobody helps her.
Let me point out one of the things that Tim is not noticing with his blinders on. Not only is that happening, but the guy who is recruited because he's on YouTube as such a freaking great trick shot guy
Yeah.
does not do any trick shots to help her.
Not
All he
one.
does is shoot her gas tank, which any of them could have done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Come
kind
on.
of assumed the fake YouTube stuff was just fake YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Because he did
I
not
got-
do anything like that.
Yeah. I got the impression that he was kind of just like a phony.
Yeah. Like they were doing CG shit because his partner was the one who ran away, right?
Yeah. They ran away right away.
Yeah. As soon as they described the job, he was like, no, dude, we're not doing this. We do YouTube videos.
And like that's some of the stuff too. Like I feel like that's kind of like subtle character build. Like what you guys are saying are like faults in the movie. Could be just character building. Also, you know, with the rain, like and the dehydrated zombies, like that could also have just been world building. You know, that didn't have to be a seed that was planted for something to happen later. I know you guys wanted to see it.
Don't tease me, man. If you're gonna say that, you got to show it to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I feel like
Stop enabling him. Stop enabling Zack Snyder. He's never going to get better. If you keep giving him candy, he's never going to lose weight, dude.
well, I feel like you're judging him for your own personal
No,
expectations.
it's
like
tough
his
love.
quality as a
Baby.
filmmaker.
It's tough love.
I feel
Somebody's
like
got
it's
to tell him.
unfair. No,
No, and
Zack Snyder, if you're listening to this, and I know you are,
I love Zack.
You're doing a
Snyder.
great job.
He's like a great guy.
I got two other bitches, and then I want to go into the stuff that's really cool that's turning me. So I can't think of the name of the dude, and I can't find him in the freaking IMDb credits for some reason. The guy who survives the whole way to the end and has the saw.
Omega guy.
Yeah. How does he not get radiation poisoning when he climbs out of the vault? I mean, that was a nuke.
Okay, let's start with the Tim Meyer approach. Well, we get teased
Here we
with the big saw scene that in the opening montage he uses. Then he makes a point of saying, "I need my saw," and then he never friggin' uses the saw, except somebody uses it to cut like a
Yeah, the
wall.
blonde woman.
But I guess that was character building. So what do I know? I didn't write Dead Daughters.
Yeah, dude. If I'd read Dead Daughters and there wasn't a dead daughter,
Yeah.
I'd have been pissed.
that's true. That's a good point.
If it hadn't been about dead daughters,
Could have been a fake out though. Could have just been world building.
Here's one for you. Here's one for you. They made a point, and it was a great dichotomy. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't even know what the word means. Batista's going to make like, what was it, $50 million? And then he's like, I'll pay you 20 million, and then I'll pay you 10 million, and I'll pay you 20 grand. And the number keeps going down based on who they're recruiting, right?
Mhm.
And everybody who watches the movie goes, oh, I love how they did that. But wouldn't it have been great if a couple of the characters asked each other, you know, I can't believe we're getting paid, you know, $10 million. What? You're getting $10 million? I'm getting like, you know.
Agreed, but it's even easier than that because the person who's making 20 grand, as soon as that bank vault opens and you see how much money's there, you're like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not only getting $1 million out of this, you son of a bitch. Yeah. I thought the same thing. I'm like, because they said nobody needs to know what our cut is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but you know what your shitty cut is. And if you see this stack of cash, you're not taking that. So I agreed with that. But does anybody know about the radiation poisoning? Like what? That was a nuke, right? Like
That was a nuke. I don't know how many days he was in the vault. How did he get out of the vault? Because they closed it.
I was just assuming it had a fail-safe opening. But I don't know. I've never been locked in a vault.
Is it like a refrigerator? Does the light go off when the door closes?
That's a good question.
He probably had some MREs that he survived off of. So
Did you guys hear about how if you look in the vault, the Snyder cut film canisters are on one of the shelves in the
no, really?
in the vault? Yeah, because this
That's
was
cool.
filmed before the Snyder cut was actually made. So he always talked about how he had a Snyder cut, so he put it in there.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Well, wait, there's the other thing with that was oh shit, what was I going to say about that? I can't remember. I'll remember. There was something else about that safe scene that I wanted to bring up, but I can't think of it. I'll come back
Well,
to it.
I got one more just question, kind of bitch. It's kind of a writing bitch, and then I got all the interesting stuff that I love. So I'm sorry, Zach, for if you're not listening, but I really did like it. Something I really didn't like about the ending is that the character that was the dumbest, that got pretty much everybody else killed, is the one who survives. That just chaps my ass. Like I just like every time someone died during the last like 20 minutes, I'm like, that's your fault. That's your fault. You kept doing all this stupid shit. So I understand that he probably wanted her to live because she's the only one who went into Vegas for altruistic reasons. Everybody else went in to enrich themselves and she went in to help somebody. So that's probably why he wanted her to live. But she was so annoying and just everything she did got everybody else killed, and it just grated my nerves. So that's all.
I just thought of what I was thinking. So the guy who sends them in, easy peasy Japanesey guy, he owned the casino, right? That was his safe. That was his vault.
That was
he
my
sends them in
understanding.
there and he said, get a safe cracker. Why didn't he just give them the combination?
That's a good point, and that was making me think he actually didn't own the vault, but I'm not sure. And there are a lot of weird inconsistencies in the story like that I picked up that at first I thought were just shitty writing, but I'm coming around on it. So there was all kinds of weird shit, and I saw it on Twitter. Somebody started a thread that I just started reading, and I found it very interesting. And it was about, do you remember the weird conversation when they get down to the vault and the dude with the saw says, oh, what if this is our fourth time going through this and those bodies are actually us?
Yeah.
And then they ignore that.
Yeah,
that was what a strange conversation.
And the
bizarre.
bodies are them.
I'm pretty sure those bodies were them because one of the dead bodies had a necklace that was the exact same as the blonde woman who snuck them in. The key. Yeah. It was identical.
They had the Batista scarf and the Tig Notaro's Hawaiian shirt.
That. Yeah. Okay. See, I actually think that was them, and there's some weird time travel shit going on in this movie. And there are a lot of, and as soon as that clicked in my head, I started thinking of other things. The hacker guy has never shot a gun or done anything, right? But he's an ace shot. So that was instantly bothering me as we're watching the movie. He's just shooting bottles and he's headshotting zombies. I'm like, what the fuck? But if this is his fourth time going through this, he already has some of these skills built up. So that explains kind of something that was annoying me. When they open the vault, there are three, I want to say they're AK-47s, but I'm not sure, leaning against the inside wall of the vault. And one of those characters was carrying that same gun, which lends to this is their fourth time through because they've gone in and he just leans that gun there every time. So there's a bunch of little shit like that. And I'd be really curious to watch it again to see.
Well, did you notice the robot zombie?
I did not notice that. And then I saw a ton of screenshots of it, that there are robot zombies in there. Did you hear this, Tim?
No.
Oh, I totally noticed it. And then I read about it. So if you watch, especially in the casino, one of the zombie gets a headshot and this like Terminator face tear happens. And you see like a blue and glow eye. And I think I saw two, but I know definitely one because it was a little confusing because some of the alphas heads would explode and it was like blue. But there's also like, and I don't know if it was Zack Snyder or something said that those in fact were robots, that maybe it was the government putting them in there to, you know, do reconnaissance or something, or it could be the aliens. Because did you notice the UFOs?
I did not.
Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, when they're about to, the convoy is leaving, there are two lights in the sky, and then they take off in the direction that the convoy is going. And I noticed that, and this made me think of Cloverfield, where they say, "Oh, if you watch at the end, they're on a Ferris wheel, and you can see something fall into the ocean."
Well, that's obvious, yeah.
So I was like, this feels like Zack Snyder putting an Easter egg in that he's going to pay off somewhere else. But at the same, and I hope that he pays all this off great. But I just felt like, wow, you are loading a lot into this movie. Like I said, let's throw a time loop in, and let's throw aliens in, and let's throw.
It's making me love the movie more. The more I think about it and learn.
This is deeper.
The alien dialogue at the beginning in the convoy, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is so on the nose. But if it's actually aliens, then that he actually put that in there as like a super Easter egg, and he wanted to plant the seed of aliens. So all of a sudden, what seems like just shitty writing, it's still clunky dialogue, but
You didn't like the second they had started. I thought that this was aliens. Like,
no, I
don't
just thought
know.
it was zombies.
Yeah.
It
I just
came
thought it
from
was
Area
zombies.
51. Then I saw the UFOs, and then the alpha zombie grows hair and has a baby. So I was like, he's clearly doing something a little different with the zombies.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a genetic experiment, and these guys were just kicking around that it was aliens, but it wasn't aliens. It was a zombie. It was my interpretation.
Oh.
Now
Well,
I'm
you
starting
didn't
to
see the
think some kind
UFO
of
either,
alien.
so
No, had I seen the UFO, yeah, I probably would have been 100% with you.
I want to watch this movie again right now, to be honest with you guys.
I'm gonna watch it again pretty soon. I'm trying to think of what else people are finding. I want to say, didn't they see bodies by the when they found the map, the blueprints in the casino? I feel like there were other bodies there, and I think that might have been them as well.
Oh, I don't know.
And then there was even a little thing when the safe hacker guy shoots his first zombie, and he's like, "Oh, I shot it 3 times," and the other guy says 4 actually. At the time, I'm thinking that was just to show how badass he was, that he counted the shots very quickly. But the 3 and 4 thing, I'm actually thinking that could be just leaning more into it's their 4th loop through the casino. So I don't know. There was a lot of weird shit in there that I was like, what the hell? Even one of the characters, when they first see the alphas, said that's an alpha. And I'm like, but you don't know anything about this shit. What the hell are you talking about? But maybe it's something clicked. I don't know. So
Basically what you're saying is you guys have been panning Zack Snyder for being this idiot writer, but really he's a genius and we should all be worshiping
maybe
him.
he's a genius.
Well, no, because he made a really flawed movie that was an hour and a half movie jammed into a 2.5 hour movie.
Or it could be a genius movie that we don't know yet because we haven't watched it enough. Maybe it's one of those movies that you have to watch like three or 6 times to
3 or 6 2.5 hour movie. So I wanted to get my bitching out of the way just because so there is a making of, I think I saw Tina saying it in the chat. There's a making of on Netflix I want to watch, but I don't think he's going to give away any of these secrets.
Oh, yes, he will. Zack Snyder loves to talk.
Well, I think if he'd done that in the making of, there wouldn't be all these conspiracy theories on Twitter. They would just
but he
say
has.
what it is.
I've seen interviews with him where he's talking about the robot zombie.
What does he say?
He says, yes, it's a robot zombie, and it might be that they're it might be the government or it might be the aliens. Like, he throws out hypotheses and stuff.
Okay, but he didn't say, I mean, he doesn't say what it is. He's left it like the explanation open. Okay. I'm hoping they do sequels. If they're gonna do prequels first, I'm gonna be pissed because I don't give a shit.
They're doing 2.
But hopefully they do a sequel, because now that I'm learning about all this stuff, I'm pretty interested.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I want to watch it again, just really paying attention to stuff going on around them to see what all's in there.
And regardless of that stuff, it's still just a fun, check your brain at the door and just watch a fun kick-ass action movie. You don't have to think about it too much. It's still fun. Jack, you could still have fun watching a movie, even if it's got a couple flaws in it.
For $90 million in 2.5 hours, Zach. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
Barry Bond comes up. I want him to hit a home run. I don't want to see him, take one, get hit by a pitch and take first base.
Well, I like
because maybe in the next game he's going to hit a home run.
These baseball analogies are not working out for you.
You don't understand it because you don't play sports.
I do play sports.
Yeah. Pocket pool.
You guys are both old men. You guys aren't playing shit. Let's be real here.
Let's play bocce later.
Let's play cricket.
No, I as a zombie movie, I liked it. I thought it was very flawed and had some weird issues. But now that it's getting into this bizarre sci-fi space that I'm just kind of learning about, and that I noticed some things, but not to the degree everyone else is. I don't know. It piques my interest. So, yay. I feel like we haven't had something like this in a while. It was like Game of Thrones was the last mystery fantasy thing we had where everybody was trying to piece shit together. Cloverfield. So if we could have another one of those, that'd be neat.
Indeed.
That's all I got.
Do better, Zach.
No, don't listen to Jack. All right, this is a fun movie. I
Yeah,
loved it.
Loved it.
I do. I mean, like it's not like I said, it's not a perfect movie, and you're right. I mean, even if these are seeds that are planted for another movie or another 6 movies, like they should have made it a little bit more clear. But like I said, this isn't a movie that you need to think about. It's just a fun action.
Wait, you just said you like the movie because you can think about it now with all the conspiracy.
Well,
theories.
now that I didn't know about that stuff, now that I know about it more.
So do you have? Can you not think about it, or can you make up your mind?
You can do both, man. Why do you have to put me in one box?
I'm putting baby in a corner.
I think you can turn your brain off and just watch this movie and just enjoy it for like the spectacle that it is.
I would agree with that. Turn your brain off and watch this movie.
And then now that there's all this new shit that has come to light, I think that makes
What did you think of the zombie baby?
I thought it was cool.
I thought that was cool. I didn't understand the color change though. I was like, does that mean it lived or does that mean it died?
Well, now that you throw aliens into it, I mean, who knows what the fuck it means now? But it's
I
fucking awesome.
Idea. Yeah.
He did a baby scene in. I mean, I know he didn't write Dawn of the Dead. I know James Gunn wrote Dawn of the Dead, but there's a zombie baby scene in that too. That's really awesome.
Yeah, that is really good. I'm thinking now this is a zombie alien baby,
which is awesome. Now that aliens is in the mix, I think I like this movie even more. I'm
not saying that it's aliens, but
it's aliens.
It seems like it's aliens. The zombie queen. I started calling her Dead Sonia.
Nice.
That actress, first of all, killed it. She absolutely kills it. When I saw she was pregnant, I'm like, so are these zombies banging? Like, is that what's happening here?
From what I've heard, I didn't see somebody from work said that they saw something with Zack Snyder who said, yes, zombies have sex. I don't know exactly how. Hunter probably knows, but
our zombie sex expert is not in the house.
God damn it, Hunter.
No, the only thing that I was really confused on, and I was like, why didn't they explain this a little bit more, was the like, what were they doing with the humans? Like, why were they kidnapping them and putting them in that room and then turning them, but also not turning them? Like, I just didn't understand like what their goal was. And I might have missed it or something. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. One of the characters in the movie said he would take them one at a time to turn them, which didn't really make sense to me because when we saw what he does, he just bites them on the arm.
Yeah.
That's it. So why can't he just walk in the room with all of them and bite them? So I have a feeling there's something else going on there.
Yeah, that was the only plot that it kind of really bothered me. Everything else, I was like, I'll forgive it. It was a fucking crazy ass awesome action movie.
Did you guys watch the Luke Cage show on Netflix?
No. Yes.
I watched the
first season.
I think it's in the second season. This guy Shades. He's one of the bad guys. He was the guy, the dickhead guard that they pay $20,000 and then shoot him in the leg. I'm watching. Go, who is this guy? Oh, it's the Luke Cage guy. So, like, he was another one of those caricature. Like, oh, this guy's the dickhead of the.
Oh yeah! As soon as she asked him to go along, I was like, if she's going to kill him or use him as bait or something, like, there's no way you'd ask this moron.
Yeah. I did not. The whole idea of getting to the vault, I was hoping for more of like an Ocean's 11, like there some obstacles to get through, not just like that one scene with the still zombies was kind of cool, but there was like these ridiculous Raiders of the Lost Ark death traps to get to a safe, which I was like, why would a casino like kill you? You know,
I think that's why I think there's something else going on there because why doesn't he have the code or the numbers to get in? Why doesn't he have that? Why doesn't he just warn them about the 3 death traps, which are completely illegal and you would never have? So there's something else I think going on with that vault, and I don't think he actually owns it.
I mean, again, you're talking also about a world's, like, again, that's I hate to hinge it on world building, but like I don't think this was a realistic representation of like our world. So like in this world, it could be perfectly normal for this casino to have these.
But they even mention it when they see the traps. They're like, "That's not legal, is it?" Like you can't have lethal force stuff. So I actually think it was in there on purpose.
That could be, but I guess the two things was when he goes to get the team back together and assemble it. Again, going back to like an Ocean's 11 heist movie, that was a little lackluster. His
He
getting,
definitely was not pushing that.
that wasn't getting me. And then, like I said, the mechanics of the heist, it just wasn't like a great heist movie. It just turned into sort of like we're gonna make a deal with the zombies and then like cut through a casino and deal with stuff. Like again, like that's where like it was leaving. Like okay, and then there's like a cool action movie and they shot. Holy shit, is that a robot? Okay, like great action scene. But then I just kept going. Oh, like that. I wish the character was a little more interesting. I wish this was a little more witty because that opening sequence with Richard Cheese and the parachute guy coming down and all that, I was like,
that was great.
Yeah.
And like, I wish you could have had Vegas at night lit up. Like somebody hits a generator and suddenly, the cowboy comes to life or something like that. I don't think we got a lot of good like Vegas imagery once we got in there. It just was. It could have been anywhere once they got in and kind of like
I did like when they turned the lights on and when Batista was running across the tables killing zombies. That was pretty cool in the casino. I like that stuff.
They actually shot
I
that.
wanted more of that.
They actually shot that in Atlantic City.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's why it looked crappy. That explains it. They didn't have to dress it down.
They I remember when they were shooting it too, they had like open zombie casting and I was like this close to just be like, fuck it. I want to be a zombie in this movie. But that
would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. You know what? You flipped me, Tim. I'm liking it more and more.
Also,
it's fun, dude. It's fun.
Another
movie.
problem. The tiger was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, all right, so he kills Dylan. What's his name?
Burke.
But then, like, I would have loved to see like Batista kill the lion or the tiger, or something. Like it dies in the explosion. That's like the last we ever see of it. I thought like a confrontation with that tiger would have been pretty cool.
I'm really hoping we get a sequel and that happens. That and the dehydrated zombies. I'm hoping he was layering shit in so that he didn't blow his wad in the first movie, and that the second movie will have payoffs for all this shit. I hope, because I'm with you. I really feel like some of that stuff could have been paid off a little more, but we'll see. I liked it. I like the mystery. Anytime there's a mystery like this that people start to unravel after it comes out, I eat that shit up.
Me too. Shaq's not impressed.
Not impressed.
Maybe when you get $90 million, you could do a zombie movie the way you like it.
Oh, I would make such a better zombie movie.
What was Uwe Boll's? God, what was that? It was based on the shooter game.
Yeah. The Nazis on the moon.
House of the Dead or whatever.
What's the Nazis on the moon one we watched?
Oh God,
Iron Sky.
Iron Sky. Watch House of the Dead sometime if you want to kill yourself.
Oh boy,
it's the worst.
That is the worst movie ever made.
It's really bad.
So
I'm telling you, like you said, like, oh, this movie does some new things with zombies. Watch Kingdom. That
I'll have to check that
show
out.
Does some things with zombies, and there are moments where you're genuinely scared.
Yeah, I finished the first season. I haven't watched the second one though. Yeah, I like that show. It's good stuff.
All right, so like I said though, I thought this movie was all right, and I suggest you watch it, but we had to have at least one voice of reason here. So
fair. We didn't talk about what we're doing next week, did we?
We did not. I have no idea.
I feel like something's coming out of the theaters, but I can't remember what.
Oh, Quiet Place is coming out.
Oh, is that this week?
Is it?
Theaters only though. So
really?
I'll go. I've been waiting to see that forever.
I'll try to go.
Well, let's just go. We can try for that. If not, there's this movie called Jinn or The Jinn. That's on pay-per-view. That's supposed to be pretty good.
Is it Wishmaster?
Yes.
Wishmaster 5.
Now you're talking.
Probably is.
Okay, so
a friend of mine saw it and he said to watch it, but I haven't even seen the trailer, so I don't know. Let's talk over the week and figure it out.
All right. I got to go see that. Damn, man. I didn't realize that was this week. Yes.
Quiet Place. I'd love to go see Quiet Place. It's Memorial Day weekend, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is. You're right. Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
I'm going to see Quiet Place. Fuck that. All right. We'll let everybody know. Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah. All right, everybody in the chat, thanks for coming. You people at home, let us know what you thought of Army of the Dead. Would love to hear your opinion. And listen, there's no wrong opinions except Tim's.
Seems to be pretty divided in the chat.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Bye.
All right. We'll see y'all next week.
See ya.